everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And John.
And
I'm back.
He's back, and we don't know where Don is. This is very unlike Don. He's usually early. Hopefully everything is okay, and he'll be joining us shortly. While we wait, we can vamp a little. How are you there, John? Anything new you'd like to report to the people of the world? How were things with you last week when you weren't here? Anything exciting to talk about? I'm trying to set you up. I don't know.
No. Yeah, you sure you want to ask me that question? Because in the last we all love our pets, and there is a time and a place when they will no longer be with us. So one of my cats died last Monday, and the other one is on a sick bed upstairs. So, this week has been quite interesting, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. So, what happened with your other cat?
Yeah. Just this morning I spent time at the animal hospital with him. So, who knows? But other than that, keeping up with the new the new summer season of anime, seeing if there's anything interesting. Not quite sure yet. Rewatched a little bit of Arcane for this because hot damn, is that good? That's the good stuff. And other than that, other than that, all the other things that are happening in America right now that are just batshit insane that we can't talk about. But
no, we're not gonna.
That's a can of radioactive worms. Each one with a different plague. Not going to do any of that.
No.
So, that's about how things have been going for me so far.
Okay.
How about you, Dave? Go ahead, follow that one up.
Well, I mean, we did tell people. I'm sorry when you weren't here that you were on a date. I was kind of.
Yeah. I know. Date went great.
Okay.
The date went great.
There's a positive thing. There you go.
I know. It's just that, that's still being figured out. Not in a bad way, but it's just I try not to talk about things. Yeah, people have been watching this show for a while. Are really, really tired of hearing about our dating lives. So I try not to say anything, especially since, dating at my age is,
radioactive.
Pretty much
like the political scene in this country.
Yeah, we've when one of your dating stories ends with a woman breaking into your house and screaming at you in your bedroom at midnight, I just, it's not cool, man. It's just not cool. So I am not going to count my chickens before they hatch, during them hatching, after they hatch, and basically not until they're full grown.
Okay then. All right, me, I don't have anything exciting to talk about other than work sucks.
Well, that's standard for everybody.
This is something that I think only people like you and I, as in software developers, will understand. Is they decided to upgrade all our database servers.
Oh,
and
I'm sure that went absolutely smoothly, and there were no kinks at all.
Evening gents, Shadowwan's rule and bad dates drool.
Thronkill, you are on point, man.
And they were supposed to do it the end of last week, and it didn't
Mhm.
get done. And like every day, it was like, "Oh, we're doing our best to get it done today." Finally, it was like, it's gonna be live Thursday. They're just starting with the development server, then they're gonna do test environment, then production, and they're like, by the end of the day today, on so this is Thursday. I'm actually was running a test in the development environment, and it just died because they just cut the environment over, sent no emails, no warnings, didn't send anything in Messenger like, "Hey, they're gonna do it at X time," or whatever. Just
So professional, like, yes.
exactly. It's like a well-oiled machine. And then the next day, which was Friday, none of my stuff was working in the development environment. And like we have a job that runs every day, and it just didn't work anymore. Um, Spent the day investigating that. Was on much later than I normally am for work, and finally I just was like, I'm done, and I logged off and walked away. Um, and then yeah, then yesterday went to a barbecue with my sisters, and uh, enjoyed that, and then spent the evening at the girlfriend's house, and yeah, and then today's just getting ready for this madness that we call superhero speak.
Hmm.
And now I find myself just worried, where the hell is Don, because uh, this is not like him, and he hasn't replied to my text either. So
It's me. I've cursed things for the last couple of weeks of my life. I've been out for 2 weeks now, right? Yeah. Yeah, my things weren't going well. But nobody wants to hear about that. Everybody wants to hear
oh
how
crap,
great Acolyte is, right?
crap.
Well, yes, it is.
Hold on.
Um,
So we're live, and Don's on vacation. I completely forgot.
oh,
He's Hi, Kasan. He said, make sure you get someone to fill in for me because I'm on vacation. I completely forgot. Don, if you're watching this or watching this later, I am so sorry. I completely forgot. I just
well, mistakes were
apologize for
made.
the text. I have been so absent-minded because the other thing that's going on in my life
You
is that
moved.
nothing. I mean, no major things. Just we're getting ready for going away next week or this week, technically. The 16th, 17th. What are the dates? Going up to New York, the 16th, 17th, and 18th, because on the 17th we're going to go see the Foo Fighters at City Field, which is where the Mets play. For those who live in New York and know, and
Cool.
yes, it's one of my girlfriend's favorite bands. It was one of her Christmas presents, and I mean, I love the Foo Fighters, and I'm excited to go. And then I just found out who the opening acts are. It's the Pretenders, um,
Oh,
and Mammoth, which is Wolfgang Van Halen's band, and the son of Eddie Van Halen. And I'm like, oh, I've seen clips of him. He's really good. He's a really good guitar player, and I want to see him live. So I lucked out. Like, apparently, and I didn't know this, and apparently they have a bunch of acts to tour with them, but like different ones open them for different nights, and they actually just said the other day who's going to open them on this date, and then they're playing Wednesday and Saturday in New York. So, and then the two different bands on Saturday. So I'm like, oh, okay, then that works for me. But yeah, so renting a hotel and all the stuff that goes along with that. Um,
oh,
oh,
wow.
Thrawn says crazy. The wife and I saw them in Sacramento in '04 and '07. Cool, yeah. Like I've always liked them, and I just never went to see them before, and she loves them too. So I was like, oh, great Christmas present. It's
The,
really
la-
for me, but
the,
let her believe it's for her.
the last concert I went to was Nora Jones, and it was by myself. So
That's sad. Why-
Well,
when was-
that I mean that has been the theme of my life for the last 2 weeks. So why don't we do something fun? Let's talk about
Well, yeah.
what we got on today, man.
All right. Well, let's stop boring the people. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm not saying it.
Oh, geez.
I may be implying it.
I don't have an inappropriate joke for the week. Dang it.
Oh, I am just devastated by that.
And I had a really bad one last week because you weren't here. And
Good.
All right. And what was the other thing? Let's see. What's next? Oh,
crap. Oh, that's right. Acolyte 7.
Okay. Well, before we get into that, if you're watching now and you're not bored yet, please hit the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications, and smash the like button. It really helps with the algorithm. And if you might want to consider, go and check out our merch store and buy a Superhero Speak t-shirt. There's currently only 3 designs. There are more coming soon. We're gonna have I think the one we're gonna start with Lamp Guy. That was from last week. John doesn't know what we're talking about because he doesn't even watch the show afterwards.
Nope.
And then we're gonna have John surfing on a sandworm. That's another one we want to do.
That's interesting. Why?
And then we might have Don fighting Godzilla. It's crazy. I got ideas. We'll see. There's more coming, but check it out. Well, the other thing I did this week is I did watch episode 7 of The Acolyte, and
oh boy, so that's why the guy was in a forced bubble for 10 years and decided to
oh yes, and we're gonna have a Jamook shirt too.
self-delete. Yes.
So
shirt. Oh, I want to hear about that one.
well, it's because of the ad that I keep playing for Colt 45.
Oh, okay.
So we knew this episode was coming, right? We knew we were going to get the extended version of what happened on the planet with the witches, the coven, and go from a different point of view, and it was going to explain everything better to understand what was going on. And for the first time, I went, "Fuck, John's right. This was so poorly written."
For the first time? For the first time?
Come on.
It took you till episode 7 to realize that?
Don and I have been trying to defend the show, saying it's not the worst thing. And
even Don can't defend this one after 7, man.
But
they could have done something really clever and shut everybody up.
I want to start
instead,
with,
it was the most stupid decisions. Every character just did something to advance this imaginary plot.
So Torben, I want to start with Torben because that's the one that's bothering me the most.
I want to go home.
Exactly.
I want to go home. You're a Jedi. Shut up. I want to go home.
Thrawn says the speeder bike chase was badly filmed. I was left.
Yeah, where did the $180 million go, man? Like, where did is the catering from like foreign lands or something? Did they get the catering directly from China and Indonesia? I mean, come on.
I'm trying to be completely 100% honest here. Like, special effects aside, the writing was so bad. Like, again, Torben's motivation was, I want to go home. He nearly he abandoned all of his Jedi training. He didn't listen to anyone. He ran in to capture these girls because he wanted to go home.
Which he didn't have to do because they were already going to let them take the test.
Yes.
So he did it for no reason except that this plot has this paint by numbers thing that every character has to do without any logical reason why each character is doing what they're doing. Not even to their own character is it logical. Oh, yeah.
Ladies' makeup is from Chanel, apparently. And then, like, there's another thing that's bothering me, and it's a writing trope that's usually done in stuff like this that they threw out, because usually what they do is, in a situation where they do a flashback where there's 4 characters or whatever, there's a group of characters and they did something bad and they tell you the story from one point of view and then they go back, but like they're killing the characters along the way. It's usually the characters who did the horrendous stuff that are the first that are killed, before you find out what was going on, and then you see if the other ones survive. But what's her face from the Matrix?
You mean Jedi Trinity?
Yes, Jedi Trinity did nothing wrong, and she was the first killed in the first 5 minutes of the first show by a dagger, and it was just like, what? Like, that's, I mean, I know it's silly, but that's bothering me. Like, she should be the only one who survives because she did nothing wrong, but yet, no, she was the first killed. Carrie Ann Moss, in Daria, that's her name. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Wookiee, was mind controlled.
Yep. And when Indara went into his mind to shut off the mind control, it automatically somehow they must have all been on the same wavelength as the Githraki or whatever from the first Avengers movie, because you switch one off, they all go off. It's like the old Christmas lights, when one of the Christmas, if they're all in a series, if one Christmas light go out, they all go out, and then you have to figure out which one the hell is the one that went out. So apparently they killed all the witches.
That's poor writing, and I feel like they're trying to make you feel bad for the Coven because they all died because of that, but they're the ones that was controlling the Wookiee to kill the other ones. So, like, they put themselves in that position. I can't feel sorry for them. So it's like, it's just such bad writing, Thrawn, I was expecting the Jedi kills to get better and more complex after Trinity, but only it's become more confounding. Yeah.
Kassan is not saying anything, and it's probably because he took the smart way out and didn't watch this. I wonder if anybody else wants to comment, because this is just this whole show is like was it Anisea, the mother witch, turns into the smoke monster and starts deleting the was it Osha?
No, that was May.
Oh, May starts deleting May, and so of course, what are the Jedi going to do when they see that? Well, they're Jedi, and at least the writers got that part of it right. And of course, she's going to kill the person who's trying to kill a child. And then, of course, then you get this bullshit thing of the mother saying, "I was going to let Osha survive." Fuck, screw you. It's like, what did you expect a Jedi to do when they're standing right in front of you? You start to kill a child after turning into a threatening smoke monster, for crying out freaking loud.
Kassan says the writing has been terrible from the first episode. People defended it because the nostalgia armor that comes with anything Star Wars.
That armor's pretty damn thin now. It's got a lot of holes in it, and they're just,
here's the thing.
They're fire on the side, and they're just getting bigger. It's just,
Soul sees May disappearing, who he thinks is Osha. That's another important factor in the episode. And he stabs at the black cloud, and when he sees that he killed the mother,
this was him.
He looks shocked, like he didn't think it was going to kill her. I really believe that. I think it was an act. I think that was an accident. However,
but no, it wasn't. It wasn't an accident on his part. She turned into a smoke monster.
No, I meant I don't think he thought it was going to kill her like that. I think he was shocked by that. The look on his face is
shocked. That's true, because a lot of people seem to survive being stabbed with a lightsaber, just a rod of pure plasma.
Yes. But I mean, she was a smoke monster. Who thinks that stabbing the smoke monster is going to make her come solid again and die? Like, I think he was trying to stop the spell, not necessarily kill her. But
But the
then,
stab went right through where her abdomen had been.
but then we get to the scene on the bridge where Osha and May are across from each other, and now we see Soul was holding them both up, and he's struggling, which is annoying because Yoda can lift an X-wing without breaking a sweat, and it's supposed to be a Jedi Master. But anyway, disregard that. And then you see him make a choice, and he chooses Osha and lets May fall.
He couldn't have caught them both.
Exactly. Like, it was like, oh, come on. Like, that was just, you wrote him into a corner to make him bad. And it's like, but like, there's nothing in this show other than maybe the first time May and Soul meet, but not even really. Like, he should be showing that he's happy she's alive and regret, and like, it just.
You're talking about a show where Soul doesn't realize that he's got the other twin when he's supposed to be a Jedi Master, Force sensitive enough, and very skilled in mind reading. Like, and he didn't even know that the person he was with was not the one that he had trained with for like 5 years. He didn't detect anything wrong at all.
Well, yeah. Wait, Kassan says the completely fumbled the motive of the Coven. Nothing they showed validated the Coven's actions, nor does it make the Jedi's morals questionable. But
it makes their actions are questionable, but not their morals. Yes,
right. They defended children they thought were in danger. The Coven did nothing to assuage the fear.
Yes,
I don't totally disagree with that, but yet
I agree with it.
They also didn't like talk to the Coven. They broke into their home twice. to you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't like try to.
The first time they didn't break in, they entered and asked to talk to them, and they talked, and then they left, and that was it.
No, they hacked the platform to get in, the elevator to get in. Like she says, the Carrie-Ann Moss says, "Can you slice it?" Which slicing is hacking in the Star Wars universe, and so they did technically break in the first time. So yeah,
which also doesn't. Yeah, I get. I mean, like, again, nobody is staying true to their character. Every character in this is being treated as a pawn in a chess game, and they're just doing what they're supposed to advance this very poorly thought out plot. And so that's because none of them have any true personality matrix that, you know, has rules of things they will do and won't do. And shows what they like and what they don't like, and what dreams they have, and what the like. No, since you can't glom onto anything about any character, you don't care about any of these characters because there's no way for you to connect to any of them.
That's my point. They did not. They had opportunities to develop the characters' motivations and morals and all that stuff, and I feel like they just dropped the ball on all of it, and they just wrote the characters to further the plot, not to tell a story.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have a plot and then you try to then you throw characters at it to make it happen, but you don't put much thought into the characters at all. They're just there to make the plot to make the plot happen. That's all this. Again, it's just every single and you're right. Like the Jedi could have reported back to the council and said, well, they did this, we did this, the witches did this, we did this. And they may have been questioned about, okay, slicing into the place. But after that, everything is like, oh, you stopped them from taking over the Wookiee's mind, and they all died. And there's no way you could have known that was going to happen. Okay. I mean, you know, they were taking over a Jedi's mind. You had to do something. Oh, she turned into a smoke monster and one of the kids started self-deleting. Oh, well, no, you killed, you use your lightsaber to kill her. Oh, okay. Well, you know, we Jedi, we defend children. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, there's not, and and I think the writer, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, seems to think that we're also all supposed to believe that these witches were aggrieved, and that they were put upon by the Jedi, and the Jedi are questionable, and they, but none of it makes sense at all.
Right. Okay. Kassan says every action serves a plot the writers thought was genius.
Yes.
The plot is so obvious. No amount of flashing lightsabers distract us from it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, agreed. Like, oh, and then yeah. Wait, hold on. Thrawn kill 15 minutes with
Quimir and his
Quimir.
backstory would have made so much more difference.
Right. Like, they also hint that like we know him from that night earlier in the show. He doesn't show up. He was nowhere around.
Maybe
Like,
they're waiting for the 8th episode to show that. We're
but
going
I'm
to get a
saying,
third
like,
perspective of that night.
there's one episode left, and I'm more confused about it now. How are they going to wrap it up? Like, now they shit the bed, and it's like, and now we're going to get some stupid wrap up that doesn't make sense, and I'm pissed. Like, I was really giving this show a chance and really trying to defend it, but like, I can't see some kind of brilliant ending that's going to make me love it. And you're right. Like, I feel like the writer's mind was, well, the coven was just wronged, and so everyone's going to be on the side of the coven. And it's like, no, like, they tried to kill May. They tried to kill May. They created them somehow. They still haven't explained that. They're somehow were created. They're not, and they're the same person too, which was weird. Half of this show could have been erased by May just walking up and saying, "Hey, yo, here's what I know about what happened that night." Go first off, finding her sister and saying, "Hey, I'm alive," and then here's what I think happened that night, and them compare notes, and then figure it out. But like, no one talks. Everyone just fights. It's like,
here, let me bring this up from Kassan, because I think he's right. Quimir will be a victim of the Green Jedi, the Green Bean Jedi. The scars on his back look like whip-inflicted injuries. I think that's where they're going with this, because why else would he have those scars? And yes, like, how do you survive any kind of whipping with a lightsaber whip? Really, a lightsaber whip?
I don't have an issue with the lightsaber whip.
I kind of have an issue with the lightsaber whip, because they've never shown that they could adjust. I mean, that's not how the lightsabers work. Not in any canon. That's not how any of the lightsabers ever worked.
They've had lightsaber whips before.
Have they?
Yeah, in the animated shows. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, and like, but like, that is such a small little detail. What does Kassan say here? Any plot that can be squashed from a 5-minute conversation between characters isn't worth its salt. Yeah.
Well, you've seen that they've taken that trope of, character asks character 1 asks character 2, can I talk to you about something? And then before character 1 can start to explain, something happens, and then they have to part, and they don't get to talk about the thing that is crucial to everything that's going on and would probably abrogate any of this ever happening. But then because the writer is such a an SMRT person, the characters go back, when they re-meet, they're like, well, that moment's passed. I don't need to say anything now. I don't need to talk about the thing that's crucial to everything that's going on. I'll just wait till later. Like,
that's the thing.
What the hell?
That's the thing too. You had said that he couldn't tell it was May. That's ticking me off, because the episode prior to that, Soul doesn't call her May or Osha, or say, like, up to this point he just says May or Osha when referring to them. All of a sudden in that episode, in the previous episode, he said, "Where's your sister?" or something about your sister, like making it ambiguous, as if to hint that, oh, he knows they're switched. No, he didn't know. It was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, why did you hint that he knew and then say, no, he didn't know? I know that was a dumb episode too. The show, all of a sudden the ship isn't working and she reset the system. Like, that was just written in there to give the show time, and it's just like,
well, there's also things like, and I haven't been here for 2 weeks, so I didn't get to talk about the previous episodes, but stuff like Soul is in the ship, right? They're about to leave. They leave, and within like 5 seconds, the other ship shows up. Now, this is in the Outer Rim, and the other ship came from Coruscant. It should have taken like a week at least to get to this planet, and yet they arrive 5 seconds after Soul leaves. Like, it's like, if the characters don't have any limits to what they do,
there's no
except to drive a plot, and if time doesn't mean anything, distance doesn't mean anything, then nothing means anything, and you cannot care about any of this.
Kassan says all 7 episodes could have been wrapped up in 2. They're really stretching the content thin. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I would have given it 4, but only 4.
This is what I'm. This is what I was about to say. Like, the pace of this show is excruciating, and at first I was like okay with it, but there's things going on that we're wasting time on, because I feel like we want 8 episodes. They had a horrible story they pitched, and they're like, okay, now we got to stretch this out 8 episodes, but they do dumb things, like the ship all of a sudden loses power and they have to reboot the system before they can move, and there's a whole episode around that.
It must be running on Windows. I mean, like,
while Osha's on a planet with Smilo Ren, and
and getting all hot and bothered. Oh my god!
While he decides to take a bath and
naked in front of her, because that's how Star Wars works.
Well, again, people had an issue with that. I don't really care about that aspect of it, but
don't you care about Osha suddenly getting turned on by the? Well, it must be the bad boy syndrome. I don't know. I don't get that.
They said the planet was in the Outer Rim, but the travel length is nowhere near that. What we see in TPM. What's TPM?
The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yes.
The Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they talk about that kind of stuff all the time in Star Wars, and now all of a sudden it was like, nope, we're there in 5 seconds.
Yeah. And 3 seconds after they found out, it wasn't like they sent the message and then they were orbiting the planet for a week. So,
Kassan, they didn't even give a reason for the ship's failure. It just failed because the plot needed time. Plot belongs to the dark side. Exactly. That's the thing. It was like, it was just a failure for no reason. Just there's something's wrong. Like, they could have said Pip reset, was doing something to stop them because he knew that was May or anything, but nope, just reset.
Oh yeah, well, all of Pip's actions mean nothing too, because Pip could have gone up to Soul and at least pantomime something, even though Soul doesn't understand. But Soul could have read Pip's mind. I mean, like, anything could have happened, but instead Pip goes. It has to be the comedic relief and go over and try to attack.
I was listening to another podcast this week on a walk, and they were talking about the show, and something hit me, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Now, the show was recorded last week, so they were just up to episode 6, and the one host said, I can't get into the show because I don't care about these characters. And their question was, why this story? You know, like, it doesn't feel like it ties into the greater Star Wars universe. And
you know, in 8 they're going to try to tie it to one of the Sith lords that's supposedly alive around this time. You know it because they're that stupid.
Pip is a marketing opportunity only, nothing else. And then Thrawn says, so Pip giving May a money shot. What's their idea of comedy? That is terrible. That is terrible. I will not condone that kind of talk. No,
but I will slightly agree with it.
I will slightly agree with it. No. And it's like, I thought about that too, right? Like, if you're going to put it 100 years before the Phantom Menace and then have characters that are in the Phantom Menace in it and the Jedi Council and everything, and it could easily be the setup, which is what I think fans were expecting, the setup of Palpatine coming, or it's Palpatine's master. Like, I think that's what people were expecting, but no, that's not what they're giving us. If they are and they're waiting to the last episode to reveal it, it's going to be what? You know? But where it's like, you could have told, like, to me, a more interesting story would have been go back thousands of years or whatever it is.
Hundreds of years. Could be hundreds. Yeah.
Hundreds of years, and show us them forming the Jedi religion. And, like, you know, so characters are so far removed from anything, but like an interesting story of how they realized what the Force was and how Jedi came to their beliefs, and have it make sense for like why we're here now, in a sense. But no, like, they give us a story that doesn't make a lot of pardon me, sense in how it fits into everything else. Like, it doesn't. Like, no one cares. Like, in 100 years, no one cared about any of these characters. It had no effect on anything. Why am I watching it? That's what the host was saying, and I'm like, I can see that.
I'm sorry Don isn't here, because I mean, I feel sorry that, you know, fans like him are having to deal with this. And I understand his point of view that, you know, Star Wars is just to have fun. But
right,
this isn't fun. This show isn't fun. Even if you don't listen to any review whatsoever and you're just watching the show itself, and you are, you know, you're for the last 8 weeks, you've had your phone turned off and you haven't looked at the internet at all. Even if the only input you've had over the last 8 weeks is just watching the show, you still haven't had fun. In fact, you probably are you're probably already having the same questions that everybody else on the internet is already asking.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem with that is that anybody like us that are like, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, Disney and their goons will come after you and call you a misogynist. Call people like me a misogynist. Me. What? I mean, you know.
Well, you are, but I mean, that's another story.
Yeah.
No, like, it's not even like that's not just Disney. That's a lot of stuff in Hollywood now. Like, and it's funny because there is a lot of good female-led movies, a lot of good female-led stories that we all enjoy. And yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not going to write something good. I'm just going to call you misogynist. Like, no, just write something good.
Yeah.
What could a season 2 even look or be about? I don't think they're going to get a season 2 at all. Like, I really don't.
Better not. How could they?
Yeah, like Arcane and Hot D.
Oh, Arcane's getting up. Arcane is getting a
yeah. Well, it's announced, so yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a trailer out for season 2. So
I don't get the reference of Hot D though.
Yeah,
I know. Oh, House of the Dragon. Duh.
Oh.
Yeah, House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have not watched that, but um, yeah, and I've heard it's very good. Go figure.
Yeah. Okay. I thought he meant something really bad with Hot D. Uh,
Stop. Oh, there's your inappropriate joke. Okay,
all
that's
right,
it.
all
You
right.
only get one.
I only get one.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
That's it.
fair.
Sorry, your allotment has been used up.
So, long story short, um, we only have one episode left to go, and okay. Oh, Thrawn says I actually want to watch Kite Man. That's coming out. And John, I'm on season 1 of Dragon. It's worth it. Okay.
I'll get to it at some point.
But anyway, I was going to say is that there's one episode left to go. We will watch it for you, so you don't have to, and we'll report next week on how badly the show or good the show ends.
We'll tell you how bad it is and the number of shots we had to take to get to the end of it.
Oh my god. I can't. It was so bad. His motivation is he wanted to go home.
I told you.
Soul's motivation was I want a Padawan, and I think I want it to be one of these girls.
No, it was like he imprinted on her. It's like, that's my Padawan. It's like, oh, that's kind of creepy, man.
Yes.
that is really kind of creepy. It's like
it was kind of creepy.
You don't know anything about her, but suddenly, and it was just Osha, not May. It's like, okay, but they're supposed to be twins. So how are you imprinting on? Don't tell me, oh, it's the Force, because okay, the Force should be registered somewhere.
We don't know what the Wookiee's motivation at all was, because he's just there. They don't.
He was there to be controlled by. Again, he was a pawn for the writer to be there to actually be threatening when the witches took over his mind, because he's a Wookiee. But by the same token, he didn't do shit even when he was mind controlled, and he's a freaking Wookiee. He swings a lightsaber, an entire forest should go down. They're not known for their weakness. I mean, the first time we see a Wookiee do something was in the Creature Cantina, and he ripped somebody's arm off.
Yeah. No, it's bad. And like, why, I don't know. Why we're going to torture ourselves one more season or one more episode, I don't know, but we have to. We're there. All right. That's enough Acolyte talk. I have a headache. And social media madness.
I have a headache.
We're just gonna skip this week. There's no really good things to talk about.
Really? Oh no. Is that because we're hearing it was is that because you're talking about Acolyte and you're getting flamed?
Oh no. Salute to you, James Kalanki Dean. Is that the guy in the Wookiee suit? No, just because like we didn't get a lot of comments this week. Nothing really worth talking about. So we actually get our most interaction on the Acolyte clips. Unfortunately. And not all of them are bad. There are people who like the show who are defending it. But I don't think that's gonna keep up. All right. So
and Thrawn meant Kelnaka, because he basically did nothing. We never got to see him really do anything. Thanks, Space Moth.
If you would like to follow us on social media, follow some other great podcasts, and be a part of Social Media Madness, here's our good friend Don, who isn't physically here, to tell you more.
Enjoying the show? Do you want to be part of Social Media Madness? Well, head on over to superheroespeak.com, where you'll find links to all of our social media. You'll also find comic reviews by Chris, some old comic reviews by yours truly, the show itself, Lots of good stuff that we're posting on there all the time. So make sure and check that out. And speaking of checking things out, of course, Superhero Speak is part of the Geek World All-Stars podcast network. Great shows like the Pop Prison Power podcast, Colt 45, Fans on Patrol, That's So Wizard, the Gorilla Brain podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Hashtag GW All-Stars, and you will not be disappointed. So make sure that you're going on the X app or whatever social media that you are enjoying. Watch for our post and make sure and interact with it. Have lots and lots of fun. All right. Well, I think I've wasted enough time. I think John has cleaned the whiskey off of his My Little Pony mouse pad. So let's head back to the show.
Did you clean the whiskey off?
I haven't had a drink in a while because it's just I'm not going to be able to do what I need to do to get through the last couple of weeks. So
Well,
yeah,
cheers to you.
maybe after things calm down a bit. So what do we got on what's on our radar here?
Hold on. Look, we have obligations to fulfill.
Oh.
So the first thing
So
I'm
we're
going to
getting
say,
paid?
the first thing I'm going to say is, if you've gotten this far in the show and you're still with us, click that subscribe button, click the bell for notifications if you're not already subscribed, so you don't miss us when we go live on Sunday nights. Also, smash the like button if you like what you're seeing so far. It really does help with the algorithm. And again, if you get a chance, if you like the show, please go to our merch store and buy a t-shirt. We'd greatly appreciate it. Link is in the description below. And yeah, that's my spiel. And on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break because Randy will get upset if we don't. We'll be right back with the news.
Some podcasts are like this.
What's the animal in this world that you fear the least? Fish. Animal. Fish. Don't start. Don't. You're starting, and I'm not.
A fish is an animal.
No, it's not. I'm talking about an animal, like a real animal, like
Fish. Fish.
No,
Fish is
being
animal.
hard-headed. I'm talking about that's like saying like an ant. That's not an animal. That's a sea creature.
What? It's a sea creature. A fish is an animal.
You can't go to the zoo and see a fish. They don't have zoo fishes.
There's actually so many fishes.
There's fish zoos. You can go to a fish zoo.
No,
Oh.
there's so many fish that they have their own attraction called an aquarium.
No, they don't. No, that's different. That's like sharks and shit. Those are animals.
Fish!
No.
Fish!
No, that's why they have different names. Sharks and fish. Why are you being political? I'm talking about an animal like a monkey, zebra, tiger, bear.
Okay.
And some podcasts are like this.
What's your take?
Since the fucking pandemic, everyone and their mother went on Amazon, got a microphone, got the whole kit set up, little filter, and now it's like they're important and we want to hear what they have to say about food, sports, culture. Who gives a
You don't like podcasts?
No, I think it's people fucking jerking themselves off on the air to make pretend they're doing something with their life.
If you already have a podcast, you can keep doing it, but it should be illegal to start a new podcast.
Get if you like doing like social justice or covering like current events, but just to talk about stupid sports, food, this and that is garbage, bro.
Wait, do you have a podcast?
Fuck out of here, bro.
You're on a podcast right now.
I'm happy to participate in this one and let you know how I feel about all these jamooks out here running around thinking there's somebody important, like we want to listen to what they have to say.
What's a jamook?
Jamook, lame-brained. You know a jamook? A person of mental or physical incompetence due to their own lack of grace or social aptitude.
I like this definition. Jamook. Idiot, loser, lame-brained, a jamook.
Yeah.
But only one podcast is where you can get in-depth analysis like this.
They're breaking down the U.S. Phillips and the top brass are talking about what the fuck happened. And Phillips is like, look, bro, I wanted an army of you assholes, not just you. Go fuck out of here. I don't care. But the Senator Brandt, I was like, hold on, fam. I see opportunity.
Hey, we got a guy here. It's a super soldier.
I see a big, greasy, sweaty, swole, sexy man right here. We're going to slap you on some labels, bitch. About to walk this track for America.
Yeah. Shake your ass on the curb for America.
Bounce that ass for the U.S. of A.
Bounce our ass for the
I want dancing girls.
dancing girls. And America's ass.
You are now listening to Cult 45.
This is Beat 'em Down.
And I'm Random Randy Savage.
Find us on all your podcatching apps like Podbean or Spotify. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or just go to www.cult45podcast.com.
Also, check out our YouTube for that sweet, sweet video content.
Cult 45, the only podcast that puts hair on your chest.
Sorry, I was on Facebook making sure we were streaming there.
Cool.
Because
Cool.
oh, now someone's watching us there. All right. Oh wait, that might be me.
Facebook is losing subscribers a lot.
Don't be a Jamook and get your cape caught in the door.
Is that where that Jamook thing comes from? I missed something in the last 2 weeks, apparently.
You missed a lot of things. No, we're just like Jamooks around here. All right, let's talk some news. We got 3 trailers that dropped this week. The first one, I remember talking about this being a possibility a couple years ago, and now the trailer's here, so because the show's coming out, and I'm like, no.
Okay.
So they remade Time Bandits.
Right. Now, Dave, you've seen the original Time Bandits,
Of
right?
course.
Okay. That was basically a script that somebody wrote while they were on acid.
That it is what's his face from Mighty Python? He writes all that weird stuff.
Yeah, Terry Gilliam.
Terry Gilliam, yes.
Yeah,
that is a Terry Gilliam
he's done a
movie.
lot of stuff too. He's
Right.
brilliant.
Yes.
But he was also on acid and probably other drugs when he wrote that. And
Possibly.
it was in 1981.
Yes.
And I just remember watching it when I was older, but I remember watching it, and then when it was finished, just staring at the TV going, what the hell did I just watch? I think the point of the show is just basically to drive you insane. Which it does. It's really funny that you watch a movie that where the plot is all over the place. Everything is just completely absurd, but in such a way that it makes sense at the end, and still as it's making sense in your head, your brain is still going, what the frick was that? It's like, it's kind of a dichotomy. And I'm sorry, but Taika Waititi, I think he's way overstepping his bounds by trying his hand at this.
I think Taika Waititi, I think he's a little overrated, and I think he made a couple good movies people liked, and now I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of his last few movies. And then this is like, I don't know, like. It's a classic. There's people who love this the original movie. There are people that are huge Terry Gilliam fans that love all his work. And Shelley Duvall is in the original movie, and she just passed away.
She just passed
this
away.
week.
A lot of people just passed away over the. Dr. Ruth passed away. She passed away. Who else? There was like 5 others.
Fitness guru. Sweating to the oldies.
Right. You know what? That's funny because you said that, and I had the name in my head, and now it's gone. So, but yeah, it doesn't like take it. We were talked about this with Love and Thunder. It's like
Richard Simmons.
Yeah, Richard Simmons. We talked about this where you can only have so much Taika Waititi. You have to be very, very conservative in how much you use of Taika Waititi in something. And if you go full bore Taika Waititi, you've gone too far.
Thrawn says Taika likes to wrap himself in what Kassan calls nostalgic plot armor. And that is true. But like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
here's what which is weird. So the lead bandit in the original movie is played by what's his face? David Rappaport plays Randall. Is the character's name in the original. And this
Mhm.
one, it's Penelope, played by Lisa Kudrow.
I was not unhappy to see Lisa Kudrow. She does have really good comedic timing, I think.
Right, but I mean, I just think it's, I'm trying to, I don't know the proper way to say it, but like, you took the job away from a little person and gave it to a woman. I don't know, like, if
Oh, yeah, I know.
you know. In fact, I don't think there's any little people in the time bandits in this movie.
Well, no, that's why he doesn't get it. Like I this is going to sound really weird, but Taika Waititi isn't insane enough to write this. It had to be Terry Gilliam from the original Monty Python troupe who wrote the original Time Bandits, because nobody else is insane enough to do something like that. And Kassan, if you are going to watch it, yeah, exactly, Thronkill. Kassan's in for a real treat. And by treat, we mean that you should probably have like a bottle of something
I feel
rather
like
nice on hand as
I
you
feel
watch
like
it.
Terry Gilliam, in a way, wrote this to kind of be an 80s kids movie. And I feel like
But it
the
was
reason,
disturbing at the end. but then again, it was his. That's his.
but a lot of
MO.
80s kids movies were disturbing in them one way or another. And I kind of feel like that's why the Time Bandits were little people, so that the kids could sympathize with them more, or feel closer to them. You know, it's they go through a kid's bedroom. Like, the basic plot is these guys travel through time and steal stuff, and there's a nexus point through this kid's bedroom, and that's another thing. In this movie, it looks like his wardrobe is moving. He opens it, or TV show. This is a show, the new one, and he goes through it, and there's like barbarians, and he runs back out. But in the original movie, his thing's shaking, and a horse crashes through the wardrobe. That's like a more exciting scene.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like you're thinking, oh, Narnia, it's a portal to, oh God, a horse. You know,
right.
And you're right, Thronkill. Baron Munchausen was also another crazy show like that. The original is worth seeing. It is 70s-ish. Like, it feels
early 80s.
70-ish. Yeah, 70, but it feels 70-ish. But the thing is, it also feels Monty Python-ish.
Right.
So, I mean, it is about as insane as the transitions they did between skits on the original Monty Python Flying Circus.
And I don't think Waititi can capture that.
No, he can't
copy it, but I don't think he can capture that.
No, he can't. He can't even copy it. You know, he can't copy it and be true to the design of the story that was being told.
Yeah. So, I don't have Apple TV. I'm not going to get it to watch this. If it comes onto another platform, maybe I'll watch it out of curiosity. But I don't know. I've never seen any original things from Apple end up on other platforms. So
no, they're very bad about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. If anyone has Apple and wants to watch it and let us know what it's like, we'd appreciate it. Just like that, you can't replicate
Sam Jones Flash Gordon. No, you cannot. That was also lightning in a bottle because of the cast and the
soundtrack
and the sound. Oh yeah, no, without Queen, the soundtrack was nothing. It's the same thing as Superman with oh God,
John Williams.
John Williams, right? So,
yeah. So, all right. The other trailer that we got this week well, we got a couple more trailers. The next one is they are doing an animated Watchmen. So Watchmen Chapter 1 will be coming to Max. And I mean,
And rated R too.
Yeah.
It'll be rated R.
It's Watchmen. It looks good. It looks like the comic book come to life. You know, as long as they stick to the story and they don't deviate from it, I think it'll be fine. The guy playing oh God, my mind just drew a blank.
What? Who are you talking about?
The not Osmodeus. The guy with the mask that moves around.
Rorschach.
Rorschach, yeah.
Rorschach.
Yeah, Rorschach. The Rorschach test is what his mask is. Sounds good. Like it sounds promising. He's got that gruff voice going on. Like, all right, this works.
It's done by the WB animation studio as Marvel Studios What If. Like that's what the animation looks like.
Speaking of animated,
interesting.
DC, did you check out Suicide Squad?
No, I haven't. That's on my list.
It's on Max. I know.
I was going to watch it this week, but all the stuff I've been through this week, I haven't had.
I'll be
time.
honest with you, Kassan, that wasn't even on my radar. I didn't know that was.
Oh
out.
yeah, no that's been on my radar for a long time, and I know it's out. I just haven't. As long as my other cat stays alive, I'll be fine, and I'll be able to watch it this weekend or next weekend. But yeah, no, it's like, did we really need an animated version of this? Like, again, we're coming back to, do they not have any new ideas because they just keep rehashing it? Maybe at some point they'll make a live action version of this animated show. I mean, come on.
I think Zack Snyder beat you to it already. I don't know. I love this. I think it is more geared towards an animated movie than it is a live action movie. I think this will be better than the live action. My hope is that they stick with the original ending and that it's a fake alien invasion rather than World War III.
You mean the original from the comic book?
Yes, the original from the comic book. Like,
yeah.
That it's because it makes more sense based on the story they're trying to tell, that humanity will unite to attack a common threat, to defend themselves from a common threat, rather than humanity's going to rip itself apart, attacking each other. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I look good. I'll check this out after I watch Suicide Squad. So let's get to the other trailers because I think we got more to say about these two. Agatha All Along. We got our first trailer there, John.
I liked it. I think this is going to be interesting. I'm keeping my fingers crossed because of
I want to see
the time between WandaVision and this. We've had all this other crap, so I'm hoping that this is good.
Here's a couple issues, well, not issues, but a couple questions I have from the Thorne says, I heard it's partially a musical. That might make sense. They made a lot of money off of that song. Agatha All Along. Here's the questions, concerns I have. She's in the morgue and she sees the toe tag and it says W Maximoff on it. Like, is that them saying that Wanda is dead in the MCU? Like, this is the confirmation that she's dead? And
which would release her spell on her
right? And is that why Agatha gets out of the spell? But at the same time, but she doesn't get her powers back, and she's saying that Wanda stole her powers and she's going to get them back. So I don't know. Like, I'm a little confused. I'm sure they'll answer a lot of these questions in the show, but It looks good. And was that a version of Mephisto we saw in the trailer? Kasan says, I know he didn't like Sandman, but season 2 is coming out soon. Yeah, we'll see. The Scarlet Witch becomes the Scarlet Lich. Oh, God.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. But
Witches Iced Flick says Thrawn Kill. And then the other thing was one of the actresses in the show, I don't remember who it was. I saw this today. I didn't include the article. I should have. She said there were a lot more horror elements in this than she thought there were going to be.
Good.
I mean, and you can see that in the trailer, like, and they do steal The Exorcist. In one part, you see the one girl flip over and do the crab walk, and she turns gray. Like, okay, yeah, ripping off The Exorcist.
That's almost a trope now, but
yeah, and I think they're doing it as a joke because it's quite obvious, But yeah, I don't know. It looks good. We'll see. We're getting the first 2 episodes in September 12th, was it? I can't remember the exact date. But you'll watch it, right, John? It gives us something to talk about on the show.
Well, no, it's just that I'm thinking that this is going to be good. And funny thing, like we saw Aubrey Plaza. I saw Aubrey Plaza, and I thought that she was playing. What was that monster from the other Marvel show that she played the thing infecting that guy's mind, the one who has all the different personalities. Whoa. You remember what I'm talking? Do you remember
talking about Legion?
Yeah, Legion, right? Legion, and she played what was it, Mojo or something like that? The thing that tried to take over his brain. I thought they were connecting those two, but apparently not. So because she's playing Rio Vidal.
Thrawn says maybe a real scary demon in this. Could you be referring to Mephisto?
But Emma Caulfield's going to be in this of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer fame. So, Vampire Slayer. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so this has got a pretty good cast. Deborah Jo Rupp is in this. It's really. I think this has got a chance.
I really, really wish that that JD was here, because the last thing he said about this show last time we talked about it was he just has no interest. It feels like he's done with the Marvel shows.
Yeah, I know.
He also made comments about, does anyone want a sequel to WandaVision this many years later? And in some ways, yeah, like it feels like they're setting it up to be a sequel to WandaVision, which I can see the issues with it. But at the same time, like, I don't know, this trailer looks really good. Like, I have interest in this now. I want to see the story. So,
and we've been bitten by trailers before, but
I really want to know what Don thinks. And I want to know what you think, you viewer of this. Let us know in those comments down below. Are you excited for this show? Are you going to watch it? Or do you have no interest in Disney shows? Let us know.
Speaking of sarcastically saying we've seen good trailers before.
Oh God. Is that a segue?
That is a segue with a flat tire on one side and the other tire is spinning but on fire.
Captain America: Brave New World.
I do not have much hope for this one.
Kasan says, I'll watch to be surprised, but I expect a train wreck. And then he's talking about... I
hope you're talking about Captain America.
No, he's talking about
Agatha.
Agatha. So we have Captain America: Brave New World, and I watched this trailer and I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. Wait, you just crapped your load all over the. You
What are you
crapped
talking
your
about?
load. At the end of the trailer, you just crapped your load all over the screen. There's going to be no surprise with this in the movie. And how does a non-powered Captain America fight a Hulk-powered character?
Well, I think they're going along the lines of what he said in there, which is, no, you're right. I'm not Captain America. I'm Falcon America, and But again, yeah, a Hulk, even Red Hulk, could rip the wings right off of him. So, oh, good, Kasan. This is good. Yeah, 400 million for this movie. And there have been, well, like all the Marvel stuff, there's been
so
rumors
much,
of a whole ton of reshoots and stuff.
There's but this is the worst one because there's been all these stories that have come out where Anthony Mackie was not happy with it. They had to change stuff around. Esposito's character was not originally in the movie. He was brought in during some of the reshoots. So this movie has changed in its filming twice, I think. And yeah. And again, right? We ended a TV show called Secret Invasion with a different president declaring war on aliens. And now it feels like that story is not going to go anywhere because now all of a sudden Thunderbolt Ross is president. And it doesn't feel like there's any talk of those aliens. The only thing they're giving us in this movie, I don't know if you realize it in the trailer, there's a scene where Sam is flying and he's bouncing off a giant thing and it looks like he's in the middle of the ocean. That's the Celestial that broke out of the Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The current theory is when that Celestial came into being, they found within it adamantium. So this is bringing adamantium into the MCU. And of course, that is a metal that is stronger than vibranium. And who is the hero most known for vibranium is Captain America with his shield, besides Black Panther, but, Captain America's shield. And so that's the belief the story is it's like a race to control adamantium, and that's somewhere in the Indian Ocean, I think.
If that's the case, we know the government's going to get it because then Project X starts up, and that's how we get Wolverine.
Well, that's the Canadian government. So
yeah, but they'll get it from us because they're Canada, and they'll get it from us.
Canada's America Light, we know.
Yeah. And they played up the fact that General Ross, the actor who played General Ross, passed away.
Yes. The joke in the beginning where it's like, we can't get over the new look because he doesn't have the mustache, and they said they should shave the mustache or lose the election, lose the mustache or lose the election.
Yeah, it was like I had to shave the mustache. I'm still getting used to look at it. William Hurt passed away.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Thrawn.
Thanks, Michael. But William Hurt passed away. So now Harrison Ford, and we all know that of late, Harrison Ford's contract for every movie requires him to die by the end of the movie.
I mean, I like Harrison Ford, but is he going to sleepwalk through this? And I kind of feel like he might, and that's what's scaring me a little bit. And I don't think he's excited to play Thunderbolt Ross and Red Hulk. In fact, I guarantee that's not him in one of those gray dot suits running around for the Red Hulk scenes. It's probably a stunt actor, and they're just going to dub his voice over it. Which probably also makes it weird. And
it's just close to Flockhart needs a new diamond ring or something, so he's just doing one last movie.
And then you have the guy from Falcon Winter Soldier in this movie who played the Isaiah Bradley Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the trailer too, where you see him shoot a gun at the president. Obviously, it's like a Manchurian candidate thing where something triggers him and he attacks the president, and it's like, okay, but is that a story we want to tell? The Black America attacking Thunderbolt Ross, like, I don't think that's a good look for you, Marvel. Like, you could have had anyone be controlled that was a military guy or just a Secret Service guy. Like, why did you do that? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Kasana's right. There's no amount of industrial light and magic that's going to make Harrison Ford be able to run around at his age.
Well, Thrawn says, I'm looking forward to him doing the I don't know and I don't care
to an MCU fan interviews.
Yes.
Also part of his contract these days.
Harrison Ford is older than Biden. Ford isn't running around. Yes, Kasan, you're correct. He's well, I mean, God, in the last Indiana Jones movie, trying to watch him run around was like, no, stop. You're too old for this. So yeah.
It's really sad because Marvel, like, they really need, they're really wanting this to work. So of course they used all the spoilers they could in the trailer. When it would have been better if they hadn't. But
the only thing they didn't reveal, you just see the back of his head and he's wearing a hat, and I feel like that hat was added for the trailer. Is the leader. Like, they didn't reveal him, but we all know he's in the movie, you know. And that's another thing. Why do we have two Hulk villains going after Captain America? Here's my question.
Samuel Stearns, right? Right.
Yeah. Does Sam Wilson take the super soldier serum by the end of this movie so he's strong enough to fight Hulk? Or at least go toe-to-toe with him? What do you think?
There's no way. There's no way unless and they can't give him the super serum. They can't give him the super serum because he's not because then he's not Sam Wilson anymore. I don't know. This is going to be. I mean, we will watch it. We will watch it. We will throw ourselves on that grenade for you.
Kassan says it'll be a great big belly flop.
Review it.
The House of Mouse will know pain. I think there is a chance this could be as big of a flop as Justice League.
Or as well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. Unfortunately, they won't have they won't have like a special cut of this one, right?
Yeah. Kassan says Captain America go toe to toe with Hulk. Not even close. Yeah. No, but with the Super Soldier Serum, he has a better chance of surviving than without it.
Yep.
As big as the Marvels, okay.
I hope not. Like the Marvels, I still feel was given short shift. I think it was still better than most people say it was, and that a lot of people didn't go to it because of Marvel's current problems. But that was one that was at least good. Not great, but good.
It's on the same track as The Flash, which actually is true. They changed around that movie so many times, and we ended up with what we got because things kept changing behind the scene. It was a victim to the DCEU machine, just like this is a victim of the MCU machine. Like, we're using this story as like a pinpoint for a bunch of other stories for them to make sense. And we're screwing you over, Anthony Mackie, in your movie debut as Captain America,
which is a shame.
Yeah,
but all right. No. Well, like I said, we'll watch it, and then you guys can laugh as we try to explain to you how bad it was. And normally I'd say we'll see how it goes, but Anyhow,
and our last bit of news, not a trailer. we kind of talked about, there was rumblings about this a little while ago. It's official. It happened this week. Penguin Random House has bought Boom Studios, and at the same time are leaving Diamond distribution. So they're going to do their own distribution. So Boom Comics won't be distributed through Diamond anymore.
And that means what? Because it's you and JD and probably Don are the ones that know the most about this. I don't know this side of things.
Which means, A, there's a chance that... Oh, wait, hold on. Kassan says, no mention of the Hellboy trailer. We talked about the Hellboy trailer. It was either last week or the week before. So you must have missed that episode, Kassan. We did talk about the new Hellboy trailer. What it means is there's a chance that Boom Studios or Boom Comics won't be sold in comic book shops anymore because
Diamond has a monopoly in that or something, right?
Yeah, right. Like if they don't, they would have to do their own channel distribution. But it also means in the long run that Random House might open up their distribution channel to other comic book companies. So some of like Dark Horse or I'm trying to think of some of the other Image, instead of using Diamond, might go through Random House. We will have to see. Like, this changes the landscape of comic books in a big way, I think. Depending on how they do. Like let their books come out and see how things go, but there's a chance this could majorly change how comic books are distributed right now. So yeah, because Diamond's has had a stranglehold on the industry for a while now, and people don't like that. As a collector of Diamond action figures, but that's separate from the comic books. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought, and I do wish one of the other comic book cohorts were here to give their opinion. But yeah, like this could majorly change things. It could be nothing. It could be a flop. This could completely kill Boom Comics too.
So Boom Studios takes with it the licenses for Buffy, Firefly, Planet of the Apes, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which isn't, if that franchise isn't doing that well right now. Something is Killing the Children, which I don't know what that one is. Lumberjanes, Fence, Berserk, Grimm I've heard. And
Berserk is the
and the
Keanu Reeves
Avengefuls.
comic.
Okay.
So like that's got a lot of people that read that.
But for Buffy and Firefly, those, I mean, for a show that was only on for a couple of episodes instead of a full season, Firefly, that's still worth a hell of a lot.
Buffy had a really big following for a while. I don't know how big it still is because it did essentially continue on the TV show. Like they picked right up to where the TV show ended and kept going with the story. And there was a lot of people who loved that show. So they read the books, and it was some of the same writers from the show who were working on the comic at the time. And I know this because my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, is a huge Buffy fan, and she read the comic for a long time. So yeah, this is interesting, right? Like, yeah, there's a lot of titles there. It's a lot of licensed properties, but yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to follow this. We'll probably know more. I think my guess is they won't announce any major plans for what they're going to do until, what is it? It's middle of July right now. San Diego Comic-Con is going to be my guess, because that's coming up in September, and that'll be the first weekend in September. So I think if they're doing anything major with this, there'll be some big announcements there. So we'll have to see. yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm wondering if there's anyone who's currently working on any of those books who's kind of nervous about the future, at this point. Because I'm sure that the owner of Boom Studios made a killing on this deal.
Yeah,
And
but
I'm sure
unfortunately, every time you hear that, somebody who built up a nice studio or a nice show or anything like that, any kind of property or company that people loved, and then hands it over to a huge corporation, it never ends well.
It always ends well. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
People love big corporations. Corporations run this country. We love them all.
Yeah, like Wizards of the Coast. That's going completely well right now with the new version of Dungeons and Dragons. Sure.
Yeah, Kassan's got a good point. If he had sold 10 years ago, I think it would have raked in double. This is probably true as well. I don't disagree with that point. They were a much bigger property back then, and or they had much bigger. Their properties were much bigger back then.
True.
So,
all right, moving on.
wait.
There's not much.
He's right. He's right.
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I think we'll get some big announcements probably around this at San Diego. So keep an eye out for that. That is it, boys and girls. That is our news. So, as always, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back with our main topic.
This is so wizard, Annie.
Broadcasting very fast and very dangerous from the planet Malistan. You are listening to So Wizard.
You're thinking people gonna die?
The only podcast to make the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
No one to stop us this time.
I am your host, Joey DiCarlo, and with me, my co-hosts, the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield, and the expert, Mr. Marquis, Marcellus Ray. You are listening to So Wizard Podcast, where three friends review movies, TV, and sometimes more, podcasting weekly on the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. Marcellus Reagans, please tell the listeners where they can find more So Wizard Podcast.
Everybody, you can head on over to SoWizardPodcast.com, and there you're going to find a brand new episode every week. Find So Wizard on all podcasting streaming platforms, such as iTunes, Spotify, Good Pods, and pretty much wherever you can find a podcast. Check out our YouTube page, where new content is being uploaded regularly. We also have a Patreon page. For as little as $1 a month, you can receive exclusive bonus content while you're supporting the show.
No, I didn't. First of all, a podcast takes a lot of work, okay? You have to organize the guests, you have to do a Google Calendar, and then you build a following. It takes a long time, and I've been working on it for a while.
Kassan asks, I wonder if the other podcasts have noticed traffic from your willingness to run their ads. Well, see, the thing is, Kassan, those guys have pictures of me that I don't want out there. So, willingness is a strong word. No, and you know what? I'm going to say this too. I put this out there again. Any other podcasts who listen to us, watch us, and they would like to have their ads played on this show, we are more than willing to do that for you.
Make them absurd and funny.
Yes, we do it for, of course, So Wizard and Cult 45 every week because they are friends of ours. And yeah, that is what I have to say. Thrawn wants to know who runs the Twitter account. That is me, and I have been slacking off. Oh, my microphone. I've been slacking off the last couple weeks on that because it's running all this social media is tough, man. All right,
it takes a lot.
Arcane,
which was my idea, and I'm, did you watch the whole series? The
No,
season?
I did not, and I want to talk about that. So I'm gonna say, like, the animation style is something I dig. I like that. The acting is really great in this show. And they do a good job of setting up a world without telling you everything about it up front. Like, you can see what's going on. And I got bored. I had a hard time getting into it, and I think that part of the problem is that there's no I don't feel the stakes in the beginning of the show, because it takes a long time for them to say anything about what's, like, why we should care about these characters and why we should care about their story. You know,
You didn't get that from the first episode?
no, I did not.
Kassan, I agree with Kassan. Like, the first episode is you know what? I'll tell you, Thrawn Kill, like, Korra is a couple of seasons, but for one season of 8 episodes, I think this kills it.
So,
like, they packed enough into this that this kills Korra. I mean, for a first season, right? Like, Korra is a long haul series with a couple of seasons. So, and they're both going to have different. Like, I'm sure Dave would get into that, but I don't know why he didn't get into this one. So.
Well, I mean, I'm going to keep watching it. I'm telling you, I'm going to keep watching it. I mean, they set up, there's this upper city, or I can't remember the terms, upper city and lower city, or underground city and above ground city, where the poor people are in the lower, the rich, successful people in the upper. So it's a story about, division of class. Okay, that we've gotten that 1,000 times.
Right. Zon is the over city. So or the city of progress.
I find myself wondering, like, if you're a fan of the game League of Legends, is that something that sucks you in? Did you play? Like, there's my question. Did you play League of Legends before?
I never played League of Legends.
Okay.
I haven't. I played shooters before, but usually it was Quake or stuff like that.
Right.
But from what I understand, the storyline from this show is now canon for the game.
Right.
Like, they actually retconned the game because of how well this show was received.
So, I mean, the show starts off with a scene in the past. It's like some kind of rebel uprising or something in the Undercity.
From Piltover. Yeah.
And the two girls in the show, Vi and Shadow, is that no, not Shadow. What's the other girl's name? Vi's sister, younger sister.
Well, that's called Piltover, but
Powder. Vi and Powder lose their parents, and they end up getting adopted by the leader of the uprising, and who then ends up taking over the
Vander. Right.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of characters in this for 8 episodes, but I think they're all given their due, which is very unusual to find somebody who can write well enough to do that.
I'm not discounting that at all. What I'm getting at is, so we start there, and then all of a sudden, now we flash to quote unquote present day, and it's the two of them with their two adopted brothers, and they're in the upper city, and they're performing. They're running along the rooftops to perform a heist. They break into a penthouse. They steal a bunch of stuff, and they steal these little rubies that look like they're just bombs, but I know they're going to be so much more. They're magic in a way, but like, I don't understand any of what's going on. Like, why it's presented as they're just stealing stuff because they need money. Like, okay, right. I get that, but why do I care about these characters? Like, this is a story I've seen 1,000 times. What's making this unique? I don't get it yet, right? And then crap happens in the Undercity, and we finally see at the end of the episode, you see the main villain who is like their
Silka.
Lex Luthor. He's got this serum that like turns people into monsters, basically. Like they experiment on a rat. That's how the episode ends. Then we get to the next episode, and now we see the robbery from the owner of the penthouse's point of view, and you find out that he's a scientist, but this is a world where science and magic are intertwined. Like,
well, mostly like the idea of the series is that magic caused an apocalypse, and the remainders of society of basically civilization came together in Piltover and decided we're going with science now. And but there are remnants of magic all over the place, and that's what Heimerdinger keeps warning them against, is like, don't, we're going to deal with science now, because if we do anything with magic, we're just going to repeat the problems of what happened before, and we'll wind up in the same place with everybody dead.
Right. And then who's the guy who's the kid who's the scientist? He gets arrested, basically. Chase. He's brought before the court. His old teacher tells him, like, basically deny, and they'll probably let you off with a warning. And he comes in and says, "Oh no, I've found a way to use science to harness magic." They all freak out, and they're like, gonna put him in prison. And the teacher pulls a maneuver where he just basically gets him expelled and kicked out of off the university, which, like, it doesn't come. He plays it like he's saying, "Oh, we need a different punishment," but like you realize, like, oh no, he's saving his old pupil's life, basically, know. And then Victor comes to him at the end and says, like, "Oh no, I think what you're onto is right." So, like, what I'm getting at is, it's the end of the second episode is where I feel like you're getting to the point of what the show is really about. It's them reharnessing magic afterwards, but like, I wish they had sprinkled that a little more clearly in the first episode or throughout the whole thing, like, and I still don't know, like, why do I care? I don't know why I should care about any of these characters.
Well, at this point, you should just be interested, because the world building is quite amazing.
But I'm not interested in the world building. I'm interested in character and why I should care about the characters. And
well, the world building is partly character, and like, all these characters are pretty damn unique, and they all do have their own. All of them have their own drives, their own belief systems. They're all very, very unique and very well characterized. So
I'm not saying
I
that,
mean, I get
maybe.
Yeah, I get that there's so many of them that like just in the first episode alone, you're not getting enough maybe for you to glom onto it. But as you go through, you'll get more and more of how, and especially when they start interacting with each other, you'll really get it. I mean, the whole point of the first episode is to get you up to speed with Violet or Vi and Powder, who later becomes Jinx.
See, I don't know that yet. Thanks for the spoiler.
Well, they're calling her. They're already calling her a Jinx, but
yeah.
But the thing is, like, the story of, I mean, this isn't kind of a spoiler. You can probably already tell. Like,
I have a feeling where they're going is that kid, those two kids, and the kids from the underground are going to end up together, and they're going to end up harnessing magic through science to turn the system on its head that we're currently seeing. Like, I feel like that's where.
You just keep watching.
I mean, I feel like that's where the story's going. Do the villains from the two worlds interact, and like,
Okay, so here's the thing. This is the writing on this is the exact opposite of Acolyte. Funny that they're pretty close to each other in the alphabet for the names, Acolyte, Arcane. But the thing is that.
But here's the thing.
No, wait. So the thing in Acolyte is the characters are doing whatever the plot demands, even if it's against their own character. In this, the plot is run by their characters. The plot
I don't feel that way.
organically happens because of the wants and needs of each of these characters.
John doesn't want to say it, but you're way off. No, but see, here's the thing. This is what I'm getting at. I don't care. I'm watching it. I'm going to keep watching it, see if it gets any better. But like, there's nothing that's drawing me in. I don't care. And this is what I'm saying. I feel like this is the same criticism of people who don't like the Acolyte. Like, I don't care about these characters. There's nothing drawing me in.
Well, yeah,
I feel the same way about these characters.
So here's the thing. One of the main draws of this is probably for people who've played the game, right?
I think that's what it is. I feel like if you've played the game, you're going to be more drawn in from the beginning.
Right. But I'm saying that as somebody, again, me, who hasn't played the game, the first, second episodes were interesting enough for me to keep watching. And then after that, I was freaking hooked because the storyline was great. The characterizations are awesome. The characters, each one is interesting in and of themselves because they each have their own, their own needs and their own drive. So
let me put it to this way. And this is, we've actually just talked about this.
Yeah, Kassan.
I think
Kassan is what's getting to where you are.
I think I was hooked by the third episode. Yeah, I just started the third episode right before we got on here, and I only got 5 minutes into it. Here's the thing. Here's my problem with it. It's the same freaking problem I have with Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man, the comic, sucks. It sucks. And it sucks because, listen, they take 3 episodes before you get to Peter Parker being Spider-Man. And the whole thing is Bendis, like, he took his time telling that story because in his mind, well, you know the payoff, so you're going to read it because you know the payoff. And I don't know the payoff.
There's a certain validity to that.
So I don't know the payoff, and I haven't yet, like, give me a hint on what someone is trying to accomplish. I want to see what the goal is early. And finally with Chase, I have a character who has a goal, but I don't see how that goal is going to help anyone yet, or where it's going to go yet.
It's kind of funny.
But you waited to the second episode to give me that character, and even by the end of the episode, I still don't understand like what he's doing and why he's doing it.
I know, but see, that is part of the fact that the plot is being driven by the.
But I don't give a crap. So suck me in from the first episode. You didn't do that. You did not suck me in from the first episode. That's my problem. That's my problem with most fucking writing on these series anymore. If you're not giving me something to suck me in from the beginning, why am I going to keep watching it?
Well, I hate to say it, but you're pretty representative of today's audiences, and that's why we're not getting anything new in Hollywood. Because something like this, you have to let it percolate. You have to let it burn a little bit.
But you have to give me a reason to watch. I don't have a reason to watch right now.
And I disagree with you that the first and second episodes didn't catch me.
Do you remember
the characters were good enough for me to want to watch the third episode?
Do you remember
even on the first episode?
Seinfeld? Did you watch Seinfeld, right? When it was on?
No, I never watched Seinfeld. I always felt that the characters are mean to each other, and my personality doesn't allow for that.
In the later seasons, there was a plot that ran through the show where they were trying to get the show. They were trying to write a show. Like, Jerry had become a famous comedian, and NBC wanted to put a show on based on Jerry's life. Blah blah blah. Typical thing. Like, but they're like then telling the story of how the show got made through this show. It's a meta. It's a very meta storyline, right?
So you'll watch a show about nothing.
Hold on. Listen.
For multiple years.
Listen to me finish my point. And there's an episode where they're pitching, and it's not Seinfeld, it's Jerry. They're pitching Jerry, which is, the Seinfeld show. And again, they're going in saying it's a show about nothing. I love that. Like you said that, like that's George's pitches. It's a show about nothing. And like, there's a whole back and forth with the rep from NBC. And finally NBC goes, but why are people watching it? And George goes, because it's on TV. And the NBC guy goes, not yet, it isn't. And like, I feel like that's the argument. Like, it made it to TV, so just watch it because you'll enjoy it. And it's like, no, why am I watching it? I want a reason. Like, I need something that sucks me in. Nothing has sucked me in yet. But again, Kassan said it gets better by episode 3. So I'll watch this. I'll probably not tonight, but tomorrow I'll keep watching it.
So Kassan said something interesting. He said, wait, you gave Acolyte 7 episodes during your trust, and you can't give Arcane 3?
Because I've loved Star Wars since I was 5 years old, and anything Star Wars, I'm sucked in automatically,
right?
Because of the nostalgia for something I love.
And we're right back to the reason why the studios won't give us anything new is because people today.
I'm not saying don't give me something new. Give me something new, but give me a hook right away that sucks me in.
Right, and that's the problem. What if it's a slow burn story?
Then it's not worth. Then it's not worth. It's not worth me watching.
So War and Peace isn't worth reading. All of the F. Scott Fitzgerald's entire work should be burned. Like everything, every piece of great literature was brand new when it was written. And you're saying if it doesn't start with an explosion, it's not worth watching or reading?
I didn't say explosion. I said give me a hint of where the story's going from the beginning. Otherwise, why am I watching this? I don't understand where the story's going. I don't care.
This is why our media sucks today. Everybody has the intention.
You're making an arbitrary. You're making an arbitrary argument that like you just got to let it percolate, and it's just going to be a few episodes. And no, like, show me like what's the overall conflict.
Okay.
That I want to see that's going to be resolved by the end of what's the hero's journey?
Kassan is doing my job for me. Let's just go over this because Kassan has got it perfect. Okay, for the first episode, you get class suppression. You've got Piltover and the Undercity.
I don't need a whole episode. I don't need a whole episode.
And then magic. And then magic versus science. And then
that's another thing. Because I want to say this too. The episodes are like almost an hour long each one. You can give me class suppression in 15 minutes in a show. I don't need a whole episode to understand class suppression.
But you got all of this in the first episode. Everything here was in the first episode. That a heist, a plot, and then evil science.
So wait, I don't get the plot until episode 5. Well, then why am I watching?
No, not 5. This is a list. This is This is all the things that he just had 5 twice. This is all the things. That
I thought he said this was each episode. No. They don't talk about magic versus science in the first episode. That is not until the second episode. That's why I'm confused. The failed revolt, you get that. You get a slight slim look at that, and there's no that's it. It's the first 5 minutes, and I don't how did the revolt failing affect these people? They don't explain that. You just see a guy in a bar.
They said that Ed Powder and Vi lost their parents.
Loss and sorrow, and a character in that I see for 2 minutes in the beginning of the show that I have no emotional connection to yet. So I don't care about their loss yet.
I am really amazed. Like, you don't seem to be cognizant of the fact that
The heist and the chase.
you are really down on this show, but you're willing to give
The
something
heist-
just because you've heard of it before. You're willing to give Acolyte the
The
benefit of the
heist-
doubt for multiple episodes until it finally hits you in the head with an anvil that
The
it's
heist
bad.
and the chase are the only thing that are interesting in the first episode. That's it. And then you get the evil science for 2 minutes at the end of the episode.
For those people that are willing to give something new a try, this probably has one of the greatest portrayals of somebody going insane. Like, and I saw online that there was somebody who contrasted this with Daenerys in the last episode of Game of Thrones, where they hadn't really given her any of a lead up to going insane and then burning an entire town full of people. Whereas this, with Powder turning into Jinx, is just brilliant. Even in the portrayal of the cartooning, where when they show her on the screen and she's talking, there's little scratches in the side of the animation, like showing that her mind is fragmenting, and the portrayal of her basically, her reasons for losing it. Like, you can already tell as a kid that she doesn't have that she's got a screw loose already. And then all of the things that happen between now and the last episode that keep like just hammering at the last threads of her sanity until she's just gone. Like, it's really quite brilliant. So, but yeah, I mean, Dave, keep watching. I know you'll like this. I'm quite surprised that you're so down on it. Like,
See, this is why I love art.
I feel like there was a lot more. I'm gonna have to rewatch episode 1 and 2 again. I feel like there's a lot more that you're not picking up on or something.
I feel like, well, I also I started falling asleep during the first episode because it did not draw me in.
Well, you gotta stop drinking during these things then, dude.
I feel like that's another thing in our society anymore. I'm gonna have to get ready with the clip here. That I like this thing, and because you had one negative thing to say about it, oh my God, you don't like thing. You're a bad person because you don't like thing that I like. All I said was there's not a hook that's drawing me in the first 2 episodes yet.
But I think,
and I said I'm willing to give it a chance, but yet we've been programmed, like, if you automatically don't like something, if I'm not coming out and praising it like you, then I must not like it and I'm bad. And I'm sorry.
No, okay.
That is what all the political ads have
right.
programmed us to believe. And now I said the word politics, so
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like, I still don't see how it doesn't have a hook, but it might be because you're looking for more action oriented things, and I go for more cerebral stuff. Like, I can see all of the empathetic hooks that they put into the relationship of the two sisters and their relationship with Vander as a sort of a stand-in father figure and all of that.
I'm pointing out, if you're telling me a story, there is an overall plot, right? There's an overall, usually there's a hero of the story, whether it's Vi or Jinx, I don't know yet. I mean, usually in stories like this, it ends up being the kid that no one wanted at first ends up becoming the hero by the end of the show or the story. But you're taking so long to get there. You're taking too long to get there. Like, there's going to be an overarching story. There's going to be a reason. There's going to be a conflict, like a main conflict that they're going to, like, them being poor and stealing stuff and getting chased. It's a little conflict, but it's not a series worth conflict. It's
well, no, but they in in that sequence, they are showing
there
you
has to be an
a lot of the
overarch-
stuff that Kassan pointed out. The fact that
There needs
there's
to be
there's such a dichotomy or a separation between the
But I
highborn
need-
and the people
I
from
need
the lower cities.
to know what the overarching story is. What is the goal that our hero is going to need to achieve by the end? I'm not a slow burn, like we're going to reveal a little thing here and then we'll reveal a little thing here. Like you lose me. You lose me really quickly in that, especially on a TV show. Because obviously, if it was a movie, they wouldn't get away with that. It would, if it was a 2-hour movie, they can't slow burn you like that. They have to shortcut the story and let you know where this is going right away. And this idea like, oh well, it's a show, so we're going to let it percolate and slow burn it. Yeah, if I'm a fan of League of Legends, I'm probably going to sit through it and watch and see where it's going, because I'm pretty sure some of these characters are from the game. So you're going to be like, oh, let's see what their story is. But in this, but I'm not a fan of the game. Like, I'm not disagreeing. There are good characters and it's well acted and it's animated well and all of that stuff. But I'm like, I'm lost. Like, I don't get where you're going with this.
Well, look, this series is a perfect example of somebody adhering to the saying of show don't tell. They don't have anybody doing enormous amounts of exposition dump to put you on the you are here part of the map.
I call bullshit on Kassan's statement right here.
What?
The stealing stuff nearly fractured a tenuous agreement between the Undercity and they don't. Where is this tenuous agreement? Like, I don't get that. There's no tenuous agreement. This is the Undercity and the elites don't care about them. That's
but
society
when
works.
the apartment blew up because Powder played around with those magic balls and they exploded it. Was it? I think that one of the following scenes was them talking about, they brought Jace in and asked him, what the hell are you doing with this? And who did it? And they're going after the Undercity kids.
No, Kassan, no. The enforcers showed up and demanded the sacrifice from Vander. He denied them. He just didn't give up his kids. That's all. They were looking for information. I viewed that as these are cops trying to figure out a crime. Period. There's I didn't feel that there was some tenuous agreement and there was some stakes with this. No, it was he didn't give up his daughters. Like, he didn't give up his kids. Period. Like, that's a basic story.
It also showed that the commander of the guard had a relationship with Vander.
Stakes would have been if an entire army of those guards came down and were like, we're going to destroy everything if you don't give up those kids. Well, that's stakes. This was two guards who were like, so like, what's going on here? It was stupid.
No, it wasn't, because they had you could tell by the way they were talking that they had some kind of some under the table agreement that, look, something goes on up there that involves your people. We'll take care of it because you're the leader of the Undertown and I'm the leader of the guard
you guys are reading something into it that I don't think was there. I think
it was right there in front of your face. It really was.
No, it wasn't. They never state that at all.
Right. That's the point. They didn't state it. You get it from how they're talking to each other.
No, I didn't get that.
Perfect show don't tell.
Nope.
You're not going to have somebody walk up and say, as you know, well, because
they didn't say like, we normally leave you alone, but things have changed now. Like, they didn't even say anything like that. That would make sense. That would be like, oh, okay, this has changed things. It was just like, again, it just felt like people trying to solve a crime, looking for some thieves, and the father wouldn't give up his kids. That's all I got out of that.
Well, we'll see how you feel after you watch another episode or two.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll keep watching it. We'll see where it goes. But as of right now, I'm not feeling it. Like,
Kassan, you say that, he says, let's watch that scene and he'll show you where they talked about the tenuous, the kind of tacit agreement that they had. Maybe if I could figure out this we could probably show a scene or two as long as we're within the DCMA, time limits. But
Yeah,
but
well, I'm not gonna.
Kassan's right. Like they do mention like certain things about the agreement, or they say things that basically insinuate the agreement that they have. And that's why she didn't show up with an army of guard. She showed up by herself to get him to give her something so that she can go back to Piltover and say, okay, we took care of it, instead of basically starting another war.
Maybe. We'll see. Like I said, I'll keep watching it, and I'll report back. I wonder if Don's going to watch it all. I'll tell Don to watch a little bit of it this week so we can all talk about it again.
I'd be really interested to continue this conversation in the next episode, because it is really worth it. And I really think this is one of the best things I've ever watched.
But we will be watching something really good for next week. But I'll wait till the end of the show.
We will.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
All right, let's
wait. We can't say dude. If you don't give a hook in the first 5 minutes, nobody's going to watch the next episode.
We're going to put a pin in our arcane conversation for this week, boys and girls. We will revisit next week after I watch a few more episodes. But now let's wrap this. Let's wrap the show up. And go around the room. And John, tell me, did you learn anything this week, or do you have any recommendations for our fine viewers?
What I learned, let's see, I learned existential dread. I learned how ephemeral and fleeting life is. And I learned that hug your kids, hug your parents, and,
hug your pets.
Hug your pets. Because, it's you never know what's going to come the next day. So, make sure that you live every day like it's the last one you've got, and make it count with the people that you love, the people and the animals. And I would also, my recommendation would be to watch Arcane, because it really is one of the best animated series I've ever seen. The writing really, if it wasn't an animated show in America, it probably would have won, some real awards. So, and since season 2 is going to be on its way, I can't wait to see what happens. Because, well, I won't say anything. So,
Thrawn says a movie suggestion: The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
How is that geeky, man? That Ford Fairlane, that's just raunchy and.
So, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. The only thing I can say to that is,
what are you doing? We don't do that here.
Well played.
And
Kassan, you're correct.
Kassan is just going off on the show.
Yeah, but Kassan's correct. But you should read him after the episode.
Dice is a superhero in that. Oh well, maybe. Let's see. What did I learn this week? I learned that that if you don't agree with John and Kassan, they team up against you.
Kassan's spitting facts, man. Spitting hard facts. And Thrawn kill. Okay, Thrawn, with the utmost respect, because I love the comments you make on the show, but Dice. Go ahead, Dave.
Hickory dickory dock. I don't know.
Let me tell you a story you ain't never heard. Yeah, I remember that.
I also learned I need to make better notes when people tell me that they're not going to be on the show, because I completely forgot. Yeah. Recommendations. Well, of course, first thing I'm going to recommend, if you've gotten this far in the show and you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you don't miss us.
Clink it. Go ahead.
We go live on Sunday nights.
Sure, it'll make that
here on
sound
YouTube. And you don't miss any of our other upcoming content. smash that like button because it really helps with the algorithm. And then while you're here, please consider checking out our merch. Link is in the description. You can go to super-hero-speak.creator-spring.com. I know it's a horrible URL.
Do I get a free one?
No, but the discount, boys and girls, is still going on. Use the promo code SUPERHALF and get half off of your order over at our merch store. And
that's an idea.
I also recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week, links to all our social media at the top of the page, comic book reviews by our good friend Chris, and so much more. And my real recommendation, boys and girls, if you haven't done so yet, go over on Disney Plus and watch New Mutants. Because we've avoided it for a long
time. Vader. It's
we've avoided it for so long, but it's a time. It is time. We will be talking about New Mutants on this podcast next week. We're trying to suck.
I like Swamp Thing. That would be a good one.
We're trying to suck JD to come back for that one, since he was the big defender of the movie until it came out. He's the only one I think who's actually watched it. Maybe Don's watched it.
He defended that really hard for like 2 years while it was in.
Yes. So if you're watching JD, we expect you to join us next week. And on that note, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape go out the door. Have a good week.